Sam Marie in the wizard tree, and the sun is going down. But I don't care. I could be out here all day and night. I want to talk about anger. Somebody asked me, or they made the comment, I forget, it was on a couple weeks ago, and they said, I couldn't imagine the anger that you feel when you found out about, and they listed a shitload of things. The betrayal, the theft, the lying, the just all these, check the box. I'm not going to go through all that because that's not what we're trying to talk about here. We were talking about anger, and they were sharing, I couldn't imagine. I don't know if I could get through that anger if I ever experienced it. Anger of family and friends and people closest to you, and friend groups and teachers and all that. I don't know how I would work through that anger of betrayal and lies and just treachery is what they said. Treachery. And so I was telling them, and I said, I'm not going to lie. There were plenty of times when I was angry, and I said, but I believe that, anger is a blanket emotion, and there's always something underneath our anger. It's a different emotion. And so we processed that, and we talked about it, and I'm talking about it again because I can freely speak when I'm here with the trees, and once I speak things out and I'm in nature, it goes into Mother Earth, and I'm able to alchemize it and heal from it. And so this is part of my process. And so I encourage you, if you choose to get a connection with Mother Nature and trees, this is a great way to alchemize pain and anger feelings and resentment, things like that. Anything negative you want to turn to light. And the sun is almost behind the tree, so we can't see it, but that's okay. It's beautiful on this side of the trees, though. And so we were talking about anger, and I said, if anything, the emotion I have now is just, there is heartbreak still in a sense, but not in the negative sense. It's more of a disappointment. And one of the things I shared with them, as it's been shared with me, and continue to remind myself, is that I need to thank the person and situation for the experience, and recognize, as I mentioned before, the Hawaiian prayer of saying, I have a part in this situation. I take responsibility. I forget my book is in my book bag and it's holding the camera up. So I'm sorry. I love you. I forgive you. Thank you. And I had to look really deep at my anger. And I think a lot of the anger was the anger at myself. A lot of embarrassment of myself. And how could I have not known? Why didn't I? These are the things I've processed already. Why didn't I trust my intuition? Why didn't I speak up? Why did I allow things to happen? And so I had a lot of embarrassment and anger and resentment towards myself. And I truly feel, this is just for me, obviously, that in order to forgive others and to heal from others' things that they've done to us, we have to do that for ourselves first. And just like before, when I've talked about dealing with shame, I couldn't deal with shame in my life until I learned to forgive myself. And so we talked about anger and forgiving ourselves, and how it's an ongoing process. And I had a lot of anger, not only towards those people, but anger towards myself for allowing it, for participating in it, for not speaking up, and for, whatever. I'm not going to go down the whole thing. And so this is just, maybe some things that I'm speaking of that can help others work through some stuff. So that's why I share it. And so those are the things I had to, work through, the anger I had for myself, resenting myself, and digging deep at where the anger came from, and recognizing it was a core issue. It was breaking cycles of not speaking up, in groups and family, and just allowing things to be, thinking I was keeping the peace. And keeping the peace for others, but damaging myself. And so when I looked at my anger, I said, it's more or less disappointment, and disappointment not just with others, but disappointing with myself. And I've moved through this stuff already, so I'm just speaking of things I've worked through. And so I don't have anger or resentment or hatred towards my family, friends, teachers, peers, co-workers, employers. They all can catch these hands, these spiritual hands of forgiveness. Because I know, because I've lived the other side of it, that whatever we put out, we get back. And some people, strangely enough, don't really understand that yet. And so by me experiencing so many things, it gave me a bird's eye view, a higher understanding to be able to forgive myself and then to also forgive others. And once I did that, the anger kind of dissipated, the embarrassment, the shame, the guilt, all those things started to slowly go away when I realized I saw myself in other people. Not that I would ever do people like that. There was no way, shape, or form that I would make the choices, especially the people that I've said I loved, would I do that to them. But that's neither here nor there. It's important to come from a non-judgmental place, and it's hard, and it's not that I don't like the word fall back, but it's not that we don't get back into that, especially as more things that's being revealed to me, that's what people have done to me. It does bring up a little bit of pissiness, because I think of, and when I say lost, I mean, these are just things that I did lose, and I know what's meant for us is already ours. I'm just speaking. The lost connections, the lost jobs, the lost stability, housing, like all of these things that people created in my life for me to lose in order for me to get off my path, in order for me to go back to old behaviors, in order for me to go back to using drugs, or to think that I was crazy, or bad old situations or old connections going to run back because the old Anne-Marie did out of fear. Out of not trusting myself and believing in myself. And I haven't and I won't. And so it's a process. This may be all over the place, but I don't care. I'm just speaking. I don't plan these things as I talk. I ask Spirit to lead me, and I'm led. As more things are revealed to me, as Spirit slowly rips the Band-Aid off of betrayal and backstabbing. And it's always like the people you least expect it. And it's funny is because I've heard people say that they thought I was faking because I didn't show my gifts, I didn't show who I really was. Everything I say and do is Spirit-led. Everything. Because the old Anne-Marie always would have said something, always would have that big. I mean, I tell you what, people from back in the day, they will tell you that I was quick to say something, quick to respond, quick to da-da. And that was my ego. And so now, for the last, couple years, Spirit has led me to shut the fuck up. Just observe. I need you to be in people's lives to see how they will treat you so that you could finally see, Maria. So you could finally see the truth of things. Because I was so blinded, and that was blinded by my own trauma. That I didn't see things for what they really were. And so as we talk about anger, it's important to look at what's the underlying issue. We're at 10 minutes already, I apologize. The underlying feeling of anger. And the importance of dealing with your shame and angry at yourself. Because it's a waste of energy. That's why I don't have anger towards anybody. It's a waste of my source energy that has no point. Anger has no space for me. Or in my life, I should say. And I apologize that we ran out of time, you guys. I hope you're healthy and happy, full of joy. May you love and be loved. Heal. Don't harm. Have a great day.